Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the things that I know you aren't doing as a social media marketing agency that probably you should also be doing. But these are the things that I know majority of people aren't doing, and I know you're not doing them, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. And I'm going to go into them in quite a bit of detail. So the first one, guys, something I know you're not doing if you're struggling to sign a social media marketing agency client in 2023 is being consistent with sales. And sales as a whole, like irrespective of being in the social media marketing agency industry, is a numbers game. The more numbers that you hit, the more targets that you hit, the better chance you're going to have in signing a client or building any kind of positive outcome from a sales meeting, irrespective of what industry you're in. However, in 2023, in terms of online sales, in terms of selling stuff on via Instagram or LinkedIn or even cold calls, really, there probably isn't an industry that's getting rinsed as much as social media marketing is. And that doesn't, that's not necessarily to say Facebook ads, YouTube ads, and the stuff that we talk about on this channel. That could be short form content. It could be social media management. It could be appointment setters. It could be, the usual stuff that people are advertising on social media. It's never been more, heavily advertised as a whole, as an industry. So that makes your job even more difficult. And that just puts more emphasis on the fact that you have to be hitting those numbers every single day, day in, day out, in order for you to get anywhere with your sales. So you have to be staying consistent with your sales. You have to be sticking to your targets. You have to be smashing those targets and really going above and beyond, because if the second you take your eye off the ball and you're not hitting 50 cold calls a day, 100 cold calls a day, plus 20 emails, or whatever your targets are, that's when you're going to slip. And it's when you feel like you're not getting traction, that's when it's compounding behind the scenes. I always use the fishing rod analogy. The more fishing rods you have in a pond, the wider area in the pond that you're covering, which therefore puts you in a better position to catch a fish, because you're covering more areas and there's only certain places the fish can go. So if you're doing outreach day in, day out and smashing your targets, it's only a matter of time until you catch someone at the right time. And people often think like, if all of these people are doing outreach, surely everyone's been contacted at this point. And 100%, like every person we sign for a cold call, every person we sign for a LinkedIn DM or whatever sales method we're using, they've always been contacted before. In fact, majority of them have actually worked with other agencies before, but that's not to say that we don't then come in and close them. So it's not necessarily finding, a hidden niche or a hidden, pocket of people that have never been taught Facebook ads or don't know what Facebook ads are. That's going to be very unlikely for you to come across. However, if you're just putting your rods, which we'll call them, out into the pond enough, eventually you're going to catch a fish which is hungry. Eventually you're going to catch a client that just, woke up that day thinking, fuck it, like I've seen so many people advertise this stuff. I've seen so many people talk about social media marketing, and it's a really good way to grow your business, irrespective of if I've been, scammed by another agency previously. Today, I'm going to give it a go. Today, I'm going to entertain a conversation. And it's those split second decisions on that day where you pick up a $2,000 a month client, where you pick up a $1,500 a month client on a 3-month contract. So it's so important that you stay consistent with sales, and it's something that majority of agencies don't do, and it's the number one reason why people give up on their agency and why 99% of agencies don't last past 2 years. Is because people, they'll do sales for 2 months and they don't get anywhere. They have 5 or 6 meetings, and those meetings don't come to anything, and they're like, shit, I'm just going to give this up. But in reality, it took me 6 months to get my first client. It took me months to even get my first meeting. And then look where we are today. So that's the first thing I want to cover, is making sure you're consistent with sales. Number 2 is doing the uncomfortable tasks. And I love this one, because every single time I come across something uncomfortable, I always say to myself, right, if it's uncomfortable, therefore that means everyone else isn't going to want to do it, because most people hide from uncomfortable tasks. Therefore, it's probably going to get me somewhere 10 times quicker rather than doing a comfortable task every single time I do it. And that's the exact reason, and it's the exact way I got my agency off the ground, because I was terrified of cold calling. If you've seen, my most viral Instagram reel, it was me explaining the time when I sat down to do my first cold calling session, and I physically couldn't press the green button on that call. And eventually when I did it, 6 cold calls in, I signed my first client. And that was so stressful to do. However, because it was uncomfortable, and at the time, not many people were doing cold calling for social media marketing like 4 years ago in comparison to now. And hence why I got the results I got, and hence why we get the results we get today, because we get comfortable doing the uncomfortable tasks. Therefore, we get comfortable doing the things that everyone else doesn't want to do, hence why we get results that no one else can get. And that's the same mindset that you need to train yourself. If you're sat there thinking, oh, I'm terrified of doing cold calls, I really don't want to do cold calling, it's just the last thing on my list I want to do, that's exactly when you need to tell yourself, shit, I actually need to do this. Because if 9 out of 10 SMMAs are also saying the same thing as me, then I'm competing with 9 out of 10 agencies. Or I could just get over my fear, do the uncomfortable thing, and now I'm only competing with the 1 out of 10 agency. Hence why you get 10 extra results. So it's just a mindset thing. Number 3 is doing things differently. And this is without being said, and this is probably a theme of majority of the videos you'll watch on this channel, is you can't be doing the same shit that everyone else is doing. You can't be getting on Instagram and messaging people saying, hi, your quality of your ads is terrible, I can do better, get on a call with me. Like the usual salesy shit. And I recommend start a personal brand and see the sales messages you get, or put your email address out there somewhere as a particular business, and you'll start to see the emails that the social media marketing agency world sends. And then it's so easy to reverse engineer that and make it completely different. So it's something that I know majority of people aren't doing, is making their outreach messages different, making their presentations different, making the way they operate their business different, making their offer different. Majority of people are just like, it's fine for loads of agencies to go after dentists. If you're starting an agency, yeah, the dental industry has been attacked quite violently from social media marketing agencies. However, that's not to say it's saturated. It just means you need to combat it very differently than most people that start. So the average beginner agency will be like, yeah, I'm going to go after dental practices as my niche. And then they message every dental practice saying, hi, do you need more Invisalign patients? I can guarantee 30. And it's like, that's just the same shit over and over. But, you need to make it different. Your offer needs to be made different. You need lots of front end value that you're going to supply that client in order for them to get you on a meeting, and then it's down to your USP as a person to get that deal across the line. So yeah, you need to make sure you're doing things differently, and that's across the board, from sales, your outreach messages, your personality, just everything as a whole. You need to stand out. Otherwise, social media marketing agencies, they're so easy to just all blend into one and just be seen as the same shitty agency. Number 4 is constantly developing your skills. Now, this is something so crucial, and this is probably leaned to more people that actually have a client currently. And if you've got, a few clients you run Facebook ads for, YouTube ads for, you have to be staying up to date with those skills. Those skills change all the time, which is why you can't be learning how to run Facebook ads from a video that was posted 2 years ago or 18 months ago, or even really any longer than 6 months ago. There's going to be a few things in there which are no longer relevant. A lot of the stuff will still be, but you need to be making sure that you're constantly developing your skills and you're constantly implementing the most up-to-date strategies that are happening in the marketing space for your clients. Otherwise, that strategy is not going to work for very long. The leads are going to stop coming in. The sales are going to stop coming in for your e-com brands. And then the client's going to look to you as the expert and say, right, what's happening? We're paying you. Why is it not coming in? And it can't be then, which, a light bulb goes off in your head and you say, shit, I need to invest in a course. I need to invest some time into YouTube to learn the most up-to-date strategies. It's too late by then. You have to constantly be watching. You have to be constantly learning. You have to be constantly absorbing knowledge from the industry. So you are a market leading marketing agency, not someone that's 6 months delayed in what they're offering. And finally, I know you're not doing this, is giving the best possible service to your clients in the industry. And I know for a fact 99% of people that own a social media marketing agency, therefore 99% of people that are watching this video, are not doing that. So many people have a high churn agency. And what I mean by a high churn agency is they operate their social media marketing agency in a way where all they care about is the next 3-month deal with a new client. Once they've got that 3-month deal, they couldn't give a flying toss whether they get that client results, because a win to them is just that 3-month deal. And therefore that is not providing, and that's not you becoming the best agency in the social media marketing agency space, because you're just a high churn agency. All you care about is 3 months. You sack them off. You don't really give a shit what they're, whether they get results or they don't get results, because after 3 months, you've got your 3 months and you just on to the next. That's what high churn agency is. And Tom and I massively disagree with that. And if you're going to the social media mastery event hosted by Aaron Branch in Birmingham on Thursday, the 27th of July, That's what my talk's going to be on. So there's going to be about 150 people there, 10 other speakers, market leaders in the marketing industry. And I'm going to be talking about client retention. I'm going to be talking about what you need to do day in, day out in order for you to keep your clients for a long period of time. And it's a skill, it's something that you can learn, and it's something that no one in the marketing industry, no one in the social media marketing space, no one on YouTube, at least from what I can see, ever talks about this, because hardly anyone is even interested in having an agency that has high retention. Most people just offer a high churn agency, whereas Tom and I, our average client retention is between 10 and 18 months, which is absolutely ridiculous for a social media marketing agency. But yeah, that's what my talk's going to be on. And that's something I know you're not doing. And I know that's something that you definitely need to do, because if you can just keep clients for an extra 3 months, so instead of keeping clients for an average on 3 months, you're keeping them for 6 months, that cuts in half the amount of sales you need to do. It cuts in half the amount of onboardings you need to do. It cuts in half the amount of stress you need to have in your life trying to replace clients constantly. So it's such an important aspect of running a business, which no one ever talks about. So yeah, those are kind of 5 things that, guys, that I kind of bet that you're not doing, and I hope you are doing, but I hope this video points out those 5 things and forces you to put some attention on that in your business, because those are 5 things that if you don't keep an eye on them, they can really swipe the rug from underneath you and really cause you some trouble in the short to medium term. So hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please make sure you subscribe. Our previous video was on how we got a $1,500 a month referral before the person who referred us was even a client of ours. Crazy story. Give it a watch. I explain all. And yeah, we're back posting every single day. So I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. for tomorrow's video.